Vauxhall is no stranger to making quick, fun cars for the masses, and the VXR label is testament to that. So when Vauxhall, or rather GM, teamed up with the boys from Holden, from the land down under, to build a seemingly basic European-styled coupe with Aussie tuning and a yanked V8 under the hood, you'd be expected to think that this was going to be a wild ride. You wouldn't be wrong.
Nothing here to see, just a kid like me, trying to custom see, trying to figure it out.
So before we let the insanity commence, let's cover a few stats, shall we? 358 of these were imported into the UK, 117 of which were in this quicksilver colour. Happens to be my favourite colour. Now, they were all manuals, none of that auto nonsense in here, and they had various engines to choose from, but this being the 6-litre V8, punching 403 brake horsepower, 530 newton-meters of torque, about 170 on the top end. Now the economy, oh, do you know what, who cares? Let the insanity commence, come on, let's punch it. You never think you're going to lose control of it, even with that great honking big V8 in the front. And, you know, it is quite rural in here, though. You know, it makes a lot of clunking and clacking sounds. The gear lever goes clock, clock, clock when you try and change gear. But, hey-ho, it's all part of the fun. And what the Monaro does like to do is when you go past 90 miles an hour, it'll turn your traction control off. You might not want it off, but the Monaro goes, it's doing 90 miles an hour now, I'll turn it off for him. Nah, maybe not Monaro, thank you, I'd like to keep control of that. Interesting though, you have to actually pull over to turn it back on again. So, you know, talking about the interior, this really does ooze GM 2005, you know, Vauxhall Opal, whatever you want to call it. I mean, this steering wheel looks like it was lifted straight out of a Vauxhall Venture, you know. But, you know, you didn't buy a Vauxhall Monaro for it to be the, you know, the most luxurious drive of your life, you know. You drove it because of that great big whacking V8 in the front. You know, having said that, there are some creature comforts in here. You know, the seats are extremely comfortable, electronically adjustable. They've got memory seats in them as well. You've got cup holders, you've got 2 gauges here with your battery and your oil. You know, you've even got little plaques down there saying, you know, who built the car and, you know, what engine it's got in it and what build number it was, being 41 of the entire production run. So, you know, it makes it a bit more special than it otherwise would have been. You haven't bought this car because you want it to be the most luxurious place. You buy this car because you want to just put your foot down and go, ah! So this, for me, is the pinnacle of the VXR journey up until this point. It embodies everything we wanted back in the noughties for the everyman's supercar market. So what's even better is they only produced 15,000 of these globally, and that was a way to avoid additional safety testing. Well, it's very manly stuff. Who needs NCAP anyway? Now, the Monaro was branded in the United States as the Pontiac GTO, in the United Arab Emirates as the Chevy Lumia Coupe, but they didn't make any Opel versions for the aforementioned reason: safety. Now, this particular Vauxhall Monaro was featured on Auto Express magazine, which kind of makes it feel a little bit like royalty. Now, speaking of royalty, if you're in the land down under, you'd expect to pay £50,000, £60,000 for this. But here in good old Blighty, 15,000. Now that is almost stealing. So this car is really important to me. It's basic, fun to drive, and it's rare. Now, when a car is rare, it's because it was maybe a bit disappointing, badly built, or so good they only made a few of them. Now, this car is the latter. Now, this car oozes with international vibes. It grunts like an American, poses like a European, and jumps around like a crazed kangaroo. The madness of this car makes it one of the most fun things to drive on four wheels. Now, speaking of driving, the road is calling.
Well, you know that you're that famous when people just randomly stop and offer you a lift back to the car park. Oh, look at that! Hey guys!
Do you know what? I was doing 100, I totally... Oh, hello.
Naughty, naughty. Shall I follow George into the bathroom? I probably shouldn't do that, should I? That's probably quite a bad thing.
Go on.
You sorry, George? You scared the out of me. I generally
Oh, I hope not. You're in the right place for it, though.
They sound like scooters. They sound like scooters.